Welcome to Catholic Views. I'm your host, Renee Kranz. On today's show, we are going to have the two Chris's, Dr. Chris Burgwald and Chris Moats, will be on to talk to us about COVID vaccines. May we get it and must we get it? Be a good conversation and helpful for everyone, I hope. First, Dr. Chris Burgwald.
Well, hello.
Is here anyway.
Here anyway. So I'll just
We'll have
stick
some
around.
biblical
for
bites
the...
with Dr. B.
Yes, ma'am. So today, Renee, is the, what kind of Sunday is
Oh,
it?
goodness. That's ordinary time.
Yes, it is. Which Sunday in ordinary time?
It is the second Sunday, and I only know that because I looked last week in church. I was like, what?
Trixie.
Why is it the second Sunday? I don't get it. Where did the first Sunday go?
So, yeah,
Wow, no
it's a
answer.
good
Did you hear that,
question.
Bill?
Yeah, I did. He just kind of blew over that.
No
didn't he?
I'm
answer.
going to. Wow, no dead air on radio, I guess. So, baptism of the Lord is what we celebrated last Sunday, as we probably heard many times. The last day of the Christmas season, and then just the way that they decided. So, because this is a little bit arbitrary, right? So this
Yeah.
is where. When the Mass and liturgical calendar and all those things were reformed after the Second Vatican Council, they did a little bit of shifting with the liturgical calendar. So
Okay.
it used to be Sundays after Epiphany and then Sundays after Pentecost and so on.
Oh,
so
okay.
they weren't called ordinary. So that's one thing. So it's a little bit arbitrary. So it could have been differently. What could have been done, I suppose, and there's probably a reason why this wasn't done, but could have been baptism of the Lord was the final Sunday in the Christmas season, and then this Saturday was actually the last day. Sort of how ordinary time ends Saturday,
right.
before Advent begins.
Right.
Could have been that way. In which case, then that this would be the first Sunday in ordinary time with the first week to follow. But I'm sure there was a reason, but I don't know what it is. Baptism of the Lord. Then the next day is Monday of the first week of ordinary time.
Okay.
And so we proceed through Saturday. Now we're on the second Sunday of ordinary
Bill,
time.
mark that down on our list of times when Burgwald was wrong.
I got it.
Or didn't know.
It's Dr. Burgwald.
Sorry,
to you,
Dr.
Renee.
Burgwald.
So the second Sunday in ordinary time, and what I just wanted to draw our attention to just a little bit today is actually the Psalm.
Oh, yes, I love the Psalm.
Psalm 4. The responsorial Psalm. I just seen if you're paying attention.
Yep.
Responsorial Psalm is from Psalm 40, and this is the second. I'll focus on the second stanza, if you will, that we hear at Mass. Sacrifice or offering you wished not, but ears open to obedience you gave me. Holocausts or sin offerings you sought not. Then said I, behold, I come. So holocausts, sin offerings. Either of those mean anything to you, Renee?
That's all Old Testament stuff.
Old Testament stuff.
That's very eloquent.
Stuff. Yeah.
I use stuff a lot.
Is that, do you have any more
Yeah,
than
I mean,
that? Or just,
it's the offerings. I imagine the offerings they used to do in the temple before basically Christianity established itself.
starting when? Do you know that? This is an extra credit question.
I do not know.
Moses in particular.
Oh, you mean when that's okay. I
Yeah,
thought you meant
yeah.
when it
Oh,
stopped. Yeah.
if I was been clear, my question, you
clear.
would have understood.
Yes.
So this is how I want to just, again, we have a lot of time. What's a priest, Renee?
He is in the person of Christ. That's not what you want, probably. I don't know.
How is a priest different from a pastor?
A pastor is basically someone who teaches,
Okay.
and a priest is someone who offers sacrifice.
Right. So a priest in any sense,
Right.
Catholic, pagan, Christian, not Jewish. A priest is somebody who offers sacrifice. What do we call that table-looking thing in our churches?
The altar.
What happens at an altar?
You offer sacrifice.
So at the heart of biblical faith is priesthood, sacrifice, and then altar, right? So So Holocaust and sin offerings were specific forms of sacrifices, which we will talk about briefly, specified in the Mosaic law, so Mosaic from Moses. And many of those, obviously, you and I, as Christians, we no longer practice them because the definitive sacrifice was offered by Jesus on the altar of the
Right.
cross.
Right.
So the cross obviously is not a table, but it's made of. There's the sort of that poetic sense, symbolic sense. So Jesus offers the sacrifice of himself on the cross, doing away with. But what I want to draw the listeners' attention to, Holocaust are sin offerings. So there were all these ways where the Old Testament you would offer a sacrifice to God. So Holocaust. A burnt offering where you offered usually livestock, which was valuable to you. It was part of your property, but you offer it to God, and it was literally consumed by fire.
Ugh.
Oftentimes the blood would be drained and the priest would smear or splash the blood on the altar, and then the rest of it was offered in sacrifice for the forgiveness of sins. Sin offerings, similar, where you offer, and here sometimes it was only certain parts of the animal that were sacrificed, and you, like in the case of a sin offering, I think you gave actually the meat to the priest,
Okay.
but other parts were. The point is there's all these detailed rituals, and it's all about the forgiveness of sins, and all ultimately was offered by Jesus Christ.
Thanks, Dr. B.